Getting started. To get started composing your first map story, from the main menu, click Create, then Compose Map Story. Update the map story information by clicking Edit Story Info. Give it a title, a basic summary, and a category. You can change these details later. Once finished, click Save. Creating your first chapter. Now, build your map story starting with your first chapter, which you get by default. Click on the information icon on the sidebar, and give your first chapter a title and summary. Click Save. Adding story layers. To add story layers to your chapter, click on the story layers icon on the sidebar, click Add a story layer, and begin typing the name of a story layer you would like to add. You can add as many story layers as you would like to your chapter, and rearrange the order in which they appear on the map. Styling story layers using Simple Style. Styling story layers makes it easier to visualize and understand the underlying data on the map. To style a story layer, click on the Style button, and choose from the styles available on the list. This includes Simple, Unique, Colorpleth, and Graduated styles. Simple Style lets you apply a single symbol to all of the map features in the story layer. In the Symbol panel, you get the options to customize the shape, the symbol size, the color of the symbol, transparency and orientation. In the Stroke panel, you can change the stroke or border style, the border width, and the border transparency. You can also add text labels next to the symbols by specifying the label attribute, text size, font style and font color. Styling story layers using Unique Style. Unique Style lets you apply different colors to groups of features based on a categorical attribute in the story layer data. To apply this style, specify the categorical attribute you want to classify, and the number of classes you want to show. Then choose a color palette from the list. The Rules panel lists down all the unique rules generated. You can customize the rules by changing the colors manually, or remove a rule that you don't want to include in the style. Styling story layers using Colorpleth Style. Colorpleth Style lets you apply a range of colors to groups of features based on their numerical values on a statistical attribute. To apply this style, specify the numerical attribute you want to classify, and the number of classes you want to show. Then choose a color ramp from the list. The Rules panel lists down all the Colorpleth rules generated. You can customize the rules by changing the colors manually, or remove a rule that you don't want to include in the style. Styling story layers using Graduated Style. Graduated Style lets you apply a range of symbol sizes to groups of features based on their numerical values on a statistical attribute. To apply this style, specify the numerical attribute you want to classify, and the number of classes you want to show, then specify the minimum and maximum sizes of the map features. The Rules panel lists down all the graduated rules generated. You can customize the rules by changing the colors manually, or remove a rule that you don't want to include in the style. Adding story pins. Story pins call attention to specific events by showing additional information and media elements like photos and videos. To add a story pin, click on the story pin icon on the sidebar, and click Add a story pin. Click the Move Pin button to change the location of the pin on the map. Next, give the story pin a title, descriptive text, an optional link to an image or video on one of MapStory's whitelisted services, such as YouTube or Flickr. Specify the start and end times for when you want the story pin to appear and disappear in the playback. Once finished, click on Update Map button. To see your story pin in action, hit the play button. You can add as many story pins as you want. Adding story frames. Story frames allow you to focus on a specific area of the map during a set period of time. To create a story frame, click on the story frame icon on the sidebar, give it a title, start, and end time, and click the Create a Bounding Box button, then draw your story frame on the map. Click the play button and watch your story frames in action. Creating multiple chapters. Now that you have completed one chapter, you can add as many chapters as you want to your map story. From the Table of Contents view, click Add New Chapter button and follow the same process of setting up a chapter, and adding story layers, story pins, and story frames. Navigate between chapters by using the directional arrows around the chapter title. Preview and publish your map story. You can save and exit the composer anytime and continue working on your map story later. Once you've completed all of your chapters, preview your map story to see how it will look once published. Hit play and watch your story layers, story pins and story frames come together in your map story. When you're ready, publish your map story for a global audience to view, learn from, and share.